Warning, the following show features constructive opinions performed either by professionals or under the supervision of professionals. The views expressed are ours and may differ from views of any other entity. Accordingly, the Tim Zabriskie Show and the producers must insist that no one recreate or reenact any conversation or activity performed on the show.
Can't finish the show in just one sitting? No problem. Listen to this and past episodes of the Tim Zabriskie Show on demand on all major podcasting networks, including Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, and the iHeartRadio app. It's perfect for the ride home.
Share this podcast.
Haven't seen enough. He's standing up. Kidman's up top. Shooting star press.
Oh, Phil, I never changed this one. You didn't.
It's like what's happening?
What's
happening?
Should we just watch it? I mean, we're this far in.
Why not? I mean, tonight is night one of Fighter Fest.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. How many nights are there of Fighter Fest? I didn't know that this was a multi-night event.
There are two nights of Fighter Fest.
That's awesome. I guess, right?
Fighter Fest 2020.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I guess I probably should have updated this here, right?
You can fade it out slowly. It's okay.
To watch the rest of this, make sure you follow us everywhere, because we've seen enough of this. Oh! What's up, guys? Tim Zabriskie here. Back at it again with the brand new vid. Phil, to let you know the kind of night that we're going to have already, I can tell.
Oh, no.
I didn't even mean to play that song, Phil. Isn't that hilarious?
That worked?
That was, I meant to hit the regular intro song, Phil.
It worked, though.
It worked. Yeah. I guess it did. What's up, guys? Tim Zabriskie here, back at it again with the brand new vid. It's been a little while since we've done one of these live videos. Less is more, as they say, right? I mean, wow. I mean, maybe, right? I don't know, Phil. But the man I'm talking to, the man, the myth, the legend, the colonel, the hardest working man in the professional and in the professional wrestling worlds here. He's so damn adorable. He's so damn modest. And he's very opinionated, and that's why we love him here, ladies and gentlemen. The president of wrestling, Mr. Phil Stamper.
Wait a minute, just to make sure, you had Kenny Casanova on, and you're calling me opinionated?
I mean, it's just trying to pay the bills here, Phil.
Okay. Controversy creates cash, right?
Yeah. So what's with this whole deal with you and Kenny? Because as I crack this beer open here, I just don't know what it is. Sometimes you guys like each other, sometimes you guys don't like each other.
It does depend a little bit on the day, but it's just him. It's all him. That's all it is.
Yeah. No, I get that. I've known the both of you guys my entire life. You
like me better, though.
I do like you better because you participate in the show a lot more. But
wow.
No, but basically, guys.
What did Kenny come to your wedding?
Actually, he did not. Because check this out. I asked Kenny to originally DJ the wedding, and he was like, "Fuck yeah, I'll DJ. That's sweet." Blah blah blah. But then he never wrote it down on his calendar there, Phil. And then he got double booked.
Wow.
But that's why Shockwave the robot ended up DJing the wedding, which was sweet. You know what I mean? Because it was fun. He, I guess he got into Shockwave at the wedding. I don't know if you remember this. He got into a little bit of heat with the lady that, the maitre d', right? The lady that's running the wedding. Isn't that what the maitre d' is? Is that what her name is?
The wedding planner?
Yeah, the wedding planner, basically, for the
Okay.
venue. But I think that her title would be like the maitre d' in that.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was pretty hilarious. Because I don't know what she did not like him. But yeah, no. But Kenny kind of no-showed our wedding. You know what I mean? He did give us the wedding gift from him was the
and
discount.
who drove what was it, 8 hours to your wedding from Maryland?
Yeah, that was you, Phil. That was all you, and that was super nice of you. And I, out of gratuity, on my wedding night, even though you got in at 2-3 in the morning, I stayed up, just to throw that out to all the people. Even though he drove all night, I did stay up because I understood the appreciation. And we had to deal with that crazy guy who will not be named names because, the guy's still around. But that guy was nuts. Just from the sound of him yelling at the cab driver because he was hammered, from the train station. Oh my gosh.
I had forgotten about that. But
yeah.
Yeah.
That was some intense stuff.
I think he kind of wanted to come up to your room.
Yeah. And he was, and I was like, all right, I got to go to bed at this point. And he's like 2 hours later, just hanging out.
Right.
Nuts. So let's get into the show here today, Phil. Basically, we put it out there, even though it was kind of last minute. We didn't really promote very much, but to each and every one of you that is hanging out with us here, we appreciate you. What we are going to be doing today is we took a poll. We asked for some audience questions, and we wanted to know what you guys thought with the state of wrestling now, wrestling today, anything in the past, and everything like that. And Phil and I will answer the questions here for you. So, it's obviously the Great American Bash is coming on this weekend. Well, if we have time, maybe we'll go over some of the answers. Great American Bash is today, right? Isn't that today?
Yes.
And then, as you mentioned too before there, Phil, Fyter Fest is also happening tonight, right? Night one. Craziness. So, if you're hanging out with us and watching the show on your telly. We love you. We appreciate you and everything like that. The phone lines here are open, 518-350-4312. So feel free to call into the show with any of the questions that you have. So, but and that number once again, 518-350-4312. But Phil,
TM.
The first question goes to you.
Uh-oh.
This is coming from Frank Stevens. He's a coworker of mine here. He wrote it in the comment before, and he actually asked me this question at work the other day, and I thought it was a pretty fantastic question here, Phil. So he goes, out of the two members of D-Generation X here, Phil, and we're talking about the main members here, Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who was more accomplished as an individual, and was there and that was his question. As far as he said it better on the when he messaged it to me at work, but I'm just reading the abridged version that he's writing here. But who was more accomplished as an individual when you take a look at kayfabe and non-kayfabe sort of accolades. So, we take a look at Shawn being in the 90s, two-time Royal Rumble winner. We also take a look at, winning the title at WrestleMania, being the man basically for most of the 90s. And then you take Triple H with all of his accomplishments, marrying into the family, his position in the company now, but also kayfabe wise with the championships he's won. You know what I mean? He's a Royal Rumble winner in his own right and everything too. Who do you think is a more accomplished individual out of the two?
I'm gonna say Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
I think if it was 50 years from now,
mm-hmm.
That people are gonna look back and think more fondly upon Shawn Michaels matches than they do Triple H. I think Michaels will have the name recognition that'll last longer. For being in the ring versus whatever might happen with Triple H next. In the future of the administration of the WWE. Does he remain empowered? How does that dynamic continue to work? Does it still work? To me, Shawn Michaels is the better wrestler.
Okay. But based off that, but then when you take a look at the man Triple H, when we take a look at everything that he's accomplished in his day with, coming in from WCW, having that really sweet angle with Henry Godwinn and all the championships that he's won, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And his push was, I feel, was longer and almost better than what Shawn had. Plus his position in the company now. He's an executive of the company. Shawn's just kind of like he's there and then he's not. You know what I mean? Does Shawn have an official title with the company right now? Besides ambassador, besides Hall of Fame?
I mean, he does because he's involved as an agent for NXT, but I don't know what his exact title or role is. If it's producer, agent, not exactly what they call him for his responsibilities involved with NXT. But I go back and forth with that on Triple H because I also think when it comes to Shawn Michaels, him becoming the world champion wasn't too far after the reign of Hulk Hogan.
Right.
And that meant a lot in the world of wrestling because here was Hogan who had it forever and ever the 80s were him.
Right.
And Shawn comes in a couple people after Hogan, and then the title became really the main events were really around Shawn, and he had been a rocker. He was a smaller guy. I'm sorry, but when it comes to tape studies, well, sorry, not sorry. When it comes to tape studies, people are going to be watching Shawn Michaels more than they're going to be watching Triple H.
But do you think that's because the person in the business today, Phil, they're more on the size of someone that is like a Shawn Michaels, where everybody's doing more of the high flying stuff, and not a lot of people are doing more of the power sort of stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, not saying that Triple H was, obviously he's a gigantic guy, but he's also not 7 foot like a Kevin Nash or an Andre. You know what I mean?
But then he also was associated with Kevin Nash, and look at the things Kevin Nash did. And yes, they were all friends, they were all boys. At the same time, you are absolutely right about Triple H, and I think the biggest part of the Triple H legacy is the creation of what we know today as NXT. Right. I think that is going to be right now, depending on what happens in the future. Right now, I think that is the biggest contribution he's made to the world of wrestling. And I think it's a tremendous, tremendous thing to leave inside of the world of wrestling.
Yeah, because that's he's changed the whole game with everything like that. So,
unintended.
Yeah. Wow, Phil. I like it. So you're sticking with Shawn Michaels after this conversation.
Yes.
You're sticking with Shawn based off just the in-ring abilities. But I don't know. I thought it was a hard question. You know what I mean? I mean, he got Steph, so that was huge for his career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Phil. You had a question that somebody had sent to your mailbag. Is that correct?
I did. It is a short one. Logan Nielsen sent me a message asking, "Is Revolver coming back? Wrestling Revolver." So, Wrestling Revolver, like many other companies around the world, has been certainly impacted by COVID-19.
Right.
The primary two states that Revolver runs out of are Iowa and Ohio, and right now, not able to have events. And even as I think Iowa is slowly about to come back with some public events and all the rules and restrictions, Revolver brings in a strong caliber of talent. And so if you take a venue that normally would hold 800 people and then have to divide that by 6, and then you can only bring in 120 people, what are we going to charge $50 tickets for everybody? Like, so
yeah,
it is a measure of and plus the core of that group is from Ohio. So the transportation involved just to get there, to bring in fans to see it, it might not be fair to do that right now. So I think we're in a holding pattern, but realistic that, are we saying it's going to be 6 more months? Are we saying it's going to be 2021? We are coming back. It just may take a minute.
Right. Yeah. So that's good to hear, though. You know what I mean? It's and it's such a weird time right now too, because it's like I don't know. There's states that are being like, I know that my job in particular has made it so that if you travel on to a whole list of states, you have to be quarantined. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's definitely affecting everything. And obviously we want wrestling to come back, but it's just not a safe time right now. Now I know that some of the feds are doing some of the feds right now, they're doing like those drive up sort of matches and stuff like that. I mean, I think it's cool. You know what I mean? It's innovative. It's sweet until, they start fighting between the cars and then damage and then the insurance policies and all that stuff, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
It could get kind of dangerous at that point, but hopefully we're not seeing any of that stuff. So, Phil, the next question that we have here is from John out in Vegas. Okay, John was asking about the video games and what you thought with the whole debacle here that happened with WWE 2K20 and how it was deemed probably one of the worst wrestling games ever, if not one of the worst games, period, ever, period. And if you think that the WWE and 2K will be able to come back from this, or if you think that this is going to be a good opportunity for AEW's supposed video game that has been rumored since the launch for it to kind of come in and take that top spot. What do you think?
Oh my gosh. I mean, well, one, I do have to agree that yes, the launch of 2020 was 2020 has been a debacle in the first place.
Yeah, that was the first thing that happened too. You know what I mean?
Right, right. That was the first association to 2020. We should have known and changed direction right then.
Right.
I mean, so they're going to come out of this. I think I saw something that there might not be a 2K21, but that I think had more to do with the pandemic impacts on the video game industry more than anything else.
But I mean, sure those guys can work at home.
Right.
I don't know,
right.
With the cloud and everything like that, that shouldn't affect anything. All right. If I can do it, you can do it, video gamers.
It is interesting because, I've started to get into gaming a little bit more and streaming more and to see some of the delays that have occurred. I'm like, well, what's causing the delay? Because everybody's at home, so they're all on compute. What happened? So yeah, I do see it. And, are there real world financial impacts that could have been created that, around people going home? Are there issues with accessing the cloud? So I can see some slowdown from the beginning, but as it becomes more routine, probably for the remainder of this calendar year, I think games will speed up in their development more and more. The WWE does also seem to have a lot of success in the mobile gaming market.
Yeah.
I think there's Supercard, there's the challenge game where you have to move the little colored things to match them. Then there's a more cartoony wrestling game that are all on mobile. I think they have at least 3 active ones right now. So I think I saw a development of a 4th one is coming. So on the mobile arena, they're crushing it right now too. So they're definitely going to come back with a very strong vengeance. I miss the old WrestleMania 2000 and No Mercy games.
Yes, yeah.
And I don't know, it was simplistic, yet you had the ability to do all the created character stuff you wanted. I played 2K19. I bought 2K19 and I hated it. I didn't like it because I'm like, this gameplay doesn't make sense to me. What's going on here? It felt like I could hit any button I wanted and nothing would happen. But that was in my personal perspective. So I want more fun in my games.
Yeah.
And that's just it. I used to get together with friends and we would all have fun together. And now you can do it all online and it should be fun and not you wanting to throw your controller through your screen.
No. Yeah. I'm totally with you. I mean, 2K20 was such a disaster that I didn't even want to play it. So I did not play it at all.
Right.
WWE 2K19 was fun. For me, out of this whole PlayStation 4 series of games, which is crazy that it's already over because it's only been 4 games and now we're getting, PlayStation 5 and the next Xbox, whatever the name of that one is here.
Right.
But for me, 2K18 was probably the best one before 2K19 came and added some other features that I was like, I'm never going to do. But before that, for the last gen, my favorite one had to have been 2K14. And I don't know if you have seen any of this online, Phil, but there is a group of modders that completely redid 2K14 to the point where it's a completely new game. It's called the Wrestling Legends game. And I know you see me see some posts saying I'm looking for a JTAG Xbox, and if you have one, message me or write it down in the comments because I want it. I'll buy it from you specifically for this game because, Phil, these guys have made it so that not only do they, let's say, like 80 characters that are already in the game, they were able to add like 200 more characters, and then they put all these new arenas into the game. They also put new videos like to play in between and stuff like that. They changed.
Oh, wow.
These guys are crazy. These guys also made it like changed all the loading screens and stuff like that. And they all say Wrestling Legends game. These kids are streaming this right now, and I want the game so bad. And you know they're not charging you for it. They're asking for a donation, and as long as you have 2K14 and a modded Xbox, it's like the greatest thing I've ever seen. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. As far as the AEW game that's supposed to be coming out, Phil, I really wonder if the Aki company, whatever their name is, Sin something that you mentioned before was your favorite sort of era of games. If they're really gonna come back into bringing that engine back, you know what I mean? We haven't heard an official no from them. We haven't heard an official yes from them. We just heard, yep, things are in the works, but that could mean anything. You know what I mean? We know that Aubrey, that's the referee's name, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a history in video games before she came to AEW. So now they've added her into the fold too. So things could be exciting on that front, but hopefully the WWE can get out of this little stink that they have and can rebound with 2K21 or 2K22, based off what we've heard about it potentially not coming out. So, Phil, what you talking to somebody? I can hear you clapping over there.
I'm making sure I'm capturing all the questions.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I didn't realize it was so clackety.
No, you're totally fine. Do you got the next one there, Phil?
I do.
What's that?
So this is from Tad Wilkins. Who do you think is winning the Wednesday Night Wars, and can both AEW and NXT maintain?
I do like it how there's certain people like I don't know what's that Mark's name is, like Vince Piscotti or whatever his name is. I don't know. He's big in all those like those Mark wrestling groups. You know what I mean? Like the Pro Wrestling United and all those other wrestling groups that are out there. But he always will post what the ratings were on Thursday for every single week. And I noticed that, AEW, they're not crazy different numbers there. You know what I mean? It's always like 6s and 7s, right? 700,000. So what is that? Is that a 0.7? That's a point. That's a pretty certain that's a 0.7 on the ratings,
roughly-ish, right? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So it's not like they're not breaking the fold like in the 90s when this war was happening, the real war. I think the highest one I saw was like an 8.3 or something like that Raw got one time, and it was like, holy! Do you know how many people that is, Phil, to be watching one television show?
Right.
That is ridiculous. 8 million people. That's nuts. Absolutely, and just in the States too. So as far as who I think will overcome, I mean, it's all about the resources. You know what I mean? It's all about that. Who has the most money? Who can pull out all the stops and everything like that? Obviously, NXT itself, not even including the lineage of the WWE, NXT itself has 3 to 4 years of a head start on them, right?
Right.
Even though they started on USA at the same time, like they already had their own specific fan base for that yellow and black brand that they brought over to the mainstream fold. But with that being said, there's always the positive of having a brand new brand. So for me, it's kind of a hard call, but I think that I think that WWE is not gonna they're not going anywhere. That's what I'm just trying to say here, Phil. What are your thoughts?
I'm right there. I'm for the most part, I'm right there with you. And I think, if so far AEW is beating out NXT more often than not, but you're right.
Yes.
The numbers are very similar though. I think I saw from last week that they were both in the 800,000s.
Yeah, and I think that NXT won that last week. Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like AEW, but again, it was so close in numbers, both being in that 800,000 range. I am very challenged sometimes by AEW's talent. Because it's there, like they have talented people, but I don't know if it's being pulled together. Meanwhile, when you look at NXT, these are folks in the WWE developmental system who are not fresh necessarily inside the developmental system. So they've also had that time to grow and develop on what is the expectation to be on WWE programming. They might have done some NXT not broadcast matches. So they've had some time to work through that system before they're actually shown on TV.
Right.
Where AEW, other than them doing their YouTube show, AEW Dark, like they're live, like they're on. They didn't get that developmental piece. And there's people who I won't say their names now, but there's some people that we've talked about before that it's like, you know what? I feel like they needed another minute.
Like the guy in the Dark Order that was punching Goldust, it was missing completely, right?
Yeah. And let's face it, that was an extra in a mask. Like,
yeah. You know what I mean? But
right.
Still, this is like the beginning of the show. You know what I mean? Like this is the beginning of the series, and you're giving us this crap. You know what I mean? And it's not like it was in the corner. No, it was like center, like where this Tim Zabriskie show logo is.
You're right.
You know what I mean? It was right smack in the middle.
And to Goldust and missed by 2 feet. Like, yeah. And that's the kind of things that I'm like, what is going on that there seems to be some of these missteps so often and more frequently in AEW versus NXT? And that's because NXT and the WWE developmental system isn't just talking about how are you improving your wrestling game in the ring. They're also talking about this is production. This is how you prepare for television. This is what you do on camera. And there's a lot more direction there than people are typically getting on the independents, which is directly where some people are coming from as they enter into AEW.
Yes.
That is not to say, again, that is not saying AEW is without talent. That is not saying that, everybody in AEW needs to go into a developmental program. That's not at all what I'm saying. But there does need to be some trimming up. I will say I'm in a small group chat of some friends I've had in wrestling for a while now. Mm-hmm. And the takeaway from last week's AEW was like, this is the end of WCW. This feels thematically like the end of WCW.
Right.
What the hell is going on? It doesn't help also my opinion of AEW. Again, I like their talent. I like a lot of their people. And they've brought in some great folks to go into like the AEW Dark on YouTube. They've also brought in folks who shouldn't honestly maybe even be in wrestling. And then now they're wrestling for AEW. So there's been some of those moments. Like am I waiting for like Grim from Grimm's Toy Show to like walk in AEW? Yeah. Like honestly, that's the level I feel they're at, and that should not be how I feel.
And
about
especially
the program.
Because of the amount of legends that are around. The first person I'm thinking of is Arn. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we got guys like Arn. We have like Dustin in his own right he's been in the business for 4 fucking generations or 4 decades now. You know what I mean? Generations.
Right.
That'd be crazy, right? But 4 decades now. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. And I get it. You know, they're pushing new guys, they're pushing new faces and things like that. But there comes a time where it's like, all right, well, you need to, maybe take a look and see what's happening. Why aren't we progressing to that next level? Is it also the social media stuff? Is it also, you know what I mean? Is it also the marketing? Because take away the fact that COVID and everything like that, and just look at it like, okay, most people are home. Most people are watching stuff on their phones. Most people are doing all this other stuff. Do some promotional stuff. Do different promotional stuff than what it was that you were doing before. You know what I mean? Like shit. What's his face? Not Jimmy Kimmel. He just took a vacation, but Jimmy Fallon is doing the show from his home. David Spade. Jericho's been on David Spade before. Get back on David Spade. You know what I mean? Do some interviews, because you're sitting around doing nothing, working the 1 day a week because you're not doing shows on the indies. Promote your product and get your name out there.
Conan's on TBS. Like, why aren't they associating? There's so many ways to get around it, and it is possible. I mean, Tony Khan has been very clear that he wants a difference between like his football life and his wrestling life. Right. So, we're not seeing AEW walk into the Jacksonville Jaguars game or like a feature of them quickly. But part of me is like, yeah, feature them quickly. I don't know, to be fair, even though I'm in a market where they've not only come but also ran pay-per-views. I don't know what they do for local marketing advertisement other than the word of mouth, because they are a brand that built itself. They are the indie fan, internet favorite sort of identifier. Yeah. Well, WWE does commercials, and they have more. I hate to say it, they have more prominence overall, but shouldn't you be doing some of that AEW? So I lose a little bit of that track. I mean, yes, right now we're in a pandemic, and yes, they're doing empty arena stuff, and I get that. I'm right there.
But that's different though, Phil, because for me, touching on exactly what you're saying here, all right. I'm huge into Facebook. You know what I mean? I don't like to. I shut off that setting on my phone that lets you know how much screen time you're using on a daily basis, because I don't want to know how much I'm really looking at my phone and looking at everything. However, I will honestly tell you that I in my life have never seen a local or have seen a promoted ad coming from AEW that is what can be widespread at promoting their show, promoting anything at all. And that's completely opposite of what you would want to do for a new brand. I mean, right.
And this is the company. I mean, this is the company that's built off the back of like being the elite on YouTube.
Fuck.
And where are some of those vignettes? I mean, but we tore it apart in last year's Fyter Fest. Like, we got it. We got that this is a whole parody on Fyre Fest. Like, we're all there. But like some of the stuff they were doing just felt like, okay, we get it. Like, we get the parody. Like, but you're dragging it down. Like, they have the ability to do and run with some great video vignettes. The one they did for Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela was friggin' amazing.
Yeah.
And it's like, are we gonna see that for other people? The one that Mox did with Matt Burns, Sick Nick Mondo, was amazing. It's like, where are some more of this stuff?
And why aren't they taking those specific promos that they're making, these video vignettes, these packages here, and why aren't they putting those once again on Facebook Live, promoting the shit out of that video so that people are seeing it and are like, oh, hey, this is a sweet new product. What is this?
Well, knowing the person that runs their social media, he is not that adept.
Fuck, Phil.
Excuse me.
Get in there.
Oh, I tried, but guess who intercepted my materials?
Who's that?
The guy who runs their social media.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Typical.
Because I won't say which company, but he knows the people at one of the companies I work for, and he will sometimes show up. And he had this whole rib planned for me because I applied for a job with AEW.
Yeah. And now it's like, there's multiple people to blame, but this person is definitely one of them. You know what I mean? It's because this is a problem that I have with WWE too. It's the internet it's still at this point, I would say maybe a half open canvas now. It's not as open as it was, like, I don't know, 15 years ago at this point. However, these two huge companies put so much time into all these vignettes and everything like that, and fuck, you can promote a video for so cheap, and they have the funds to make it so every single household around here sees it, and they don't do it. And not so much WWE, because they're not going anywhere, but except for maybe to Disney or something like that, right? But AEW, to do what they're trying to do here, fuck, I need to be able to go up to someone that used to watch WWE back in the day and say, oh, what do you think of AEW? And they know what the fuck I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Phone number here, 518-350-4312.
So what question do you have for me, Tim? Or for both of us, whatever the question may be.
Phil, Brian down in Nashville messaged me on Facebook, and he's really been into a lot of the wrestling theme songs lately, and he was wondering, between both the CFOs and Jim Johnson, which theme song is the most underrated out of the ones that they've made?
Wait a sec, you lost me there. Of which one? Of AEW or of all time? Like,
no. Oh, well, Jim Johnson, I know he's now doing some stuff for AEW, but between this, I'm basically going. I'm off what Brian's saying here, but for WWE's sake, the CFOs or Jim Johnson, since the CFOs took over, what theme song do you think is probably the most underrated?
Ooh. And I'm bad about who created what, because Ruckus is involved Mikey Ruckus is involved in AEW too, so I'm not sure who is doing which theme song. I'm really just bad about that.
But you can tell kind of by the person's specific sound. You know what I mean?
Legit, I'm so bad with that. I listen, when I have the radio on and on a podcast, I'll be singing along with the song, and if I have somebody with me, they're like, "What's that song?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just like the song." Who sings it? I don't know. This country guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll make up a name.
All right, just do it by wrestler. Whose wrestler's theme song do you think was probably the most underrated?
Was it? I think Chaz used it first, and then it became Hardcore Holly. It was like that, damn. It was the default music in No Mercy when you had a character, and for some reason, I just dug that music, and it's so super generic, but I love it.
Yeah. That definitely was a good theme song. I mean, it's definitely a hard question. I have no. I feel like I'm drawing a blank here, but I would probably go with and what I'll do is I'll sing it for you a little bit. That way you know exactly what I'm doing here. All right. Da-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na.
You say that was underrated?
Yeah. As far as being in the top tier of the greatest songs of all time.
Okay.
The New Age Outlaws was sweet because they legit just made that fan interaction.
Right. They did. It was good. It was really strong.
But it's also what the fuck does you didn't know mean? Right? And then your ass better call. What does that whole thing mean? I've never known, Phil. Explain it to me.
So let's break it down. Say the first line again.
All right. How about we do it together? All right.
Okay.
Da-na-na-na.
Oh, you didn't know?
Wait, hold on. One more time, Phil. Hold on. All right. We're gonna.
And we're waiting.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Da-na-na-na.
Oh, you didn't know?
Da-na-na-na.
Your ass better call somebody.
Yeah, see, Phil.
I mean, it's can you hear me?
Yes.
From the mountaintop.
Hello. Hello.
And then I always took it as sort of a don't write a check your ass can't cash, that you be able to back it up. So if you're going to get your butt whooped, and you better be ready to call somebody to come pick you up off the floor.
Oh, you didn't know?
You're about to be beat.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, Phil. All right, you got one more?
By the sick beats.
You got one more question. But by the way, everybody, the phone lines are open here, 518-350-4312. Feel free to call in. If you guys have any questions for us, let us know, and we'll be more than happy to answer for you. But Phil, do you have a question before we take a commercial break?
Sure. Okay, I have sort of a toss away one for you, Tim, from Sam Patrick's. Tim, what video game character would you play in a movie? And who would you want to play you in a Tim documentary?
All right, let's.
I wrote it as Timumentary.
The Timumentary. I like it. All right, so let's start this over again. All right. What's the first part of the question here?
What video game character would you want to play in a movie?
Huh. What video game character would I want to play in a movie? Just because it's so topical right now, I think I'm going to go with Michael Keaton Batman.
Okay.
You know he's coming back, Phil.
I did see that. I'm really kind of excited.
I'm excited for it, too. I don't know. Michael Keaton Batman was the sweetest Batman. The girls were so hot in those movies back in the day. And who would I want to play me as somebody?
In a Timumentary.
In a Timumentary. I feel like it would be so weird. I love this question. Shouts to the guy that wrote this. What was his name?
Sam Patrick's.
Sam. Great question.
I might be a she.
Oh, hey. Oh, okay, Sam.
Hi, Rosaria.
All right, so I'd probably go with Matthew McConaughey. I feel like it would be, because obviously we have the same sort of build and everything, but I feel that it would be great. I would want to see what he would do with the character of Tim. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Same question for you, Phil.
Oh,
who would you play if you could play a movie character?
Oh my God! I'll answer the other one first because that one I can get an answer to. Because when I was a kid and had the big bushy curly fro hair.
Yep.
I can't remember if you knew me when I had big bushy curly fro
hair. I saw your license. That was
okay. People used to say I looked like Fred Arnold, like Kevin Savage as a kid. And now that I'm older, people say I look like Howie. So either one of them could easily play a Philumentary.
Well, that wasn't what the what I interpreted the question as. Because I interpreted the question as who would you want to play you, not so much of who it is that you look like, right? Because for me,
I'll say Fred Savage.
Okay, all right, I like it. Because for me, I've always been told my whole life that I was Adam Sandler growing up. so.
Oh my God, I can see it now.
Yeah. So thanks, Adam. Thanks for giving me your fantastic looks. My mom says hi. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, as far as a movie character though, who would you want to play?
All right, I have to admit I'm short and fat, so it's like if they ever made Krillin into like a movie character, I really want to be Krillin. Really, really, really want to be Krillin.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, we're going to take a quick little break, and then we will be right back.
Can't finish the show in just one sitting? No problem. Listen to this and past episodes of The Tim Zabriskie Show on demand on all major podcasting networks, including Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, and the iHeartRadio app. It's perfect for the ride home.
Babe, yeah. What shirt are you wearing?
My Tim Zabriskie Show shirt.
Phil.
Damn.
Tim Zabriskie show shirts. Did you see how sweet they were? And you can wear the tank tops now because it's summertime.
Yeah, you can.
Do you know how much they are there, Phil?
An amount of money that is determined by you.
I think that would be what's 4 times 10, Phil? 40 quarters. Phil.
40 quarters.
It only costs about 40 quarters plus shipping and handling. But we'll ship anywhere. Do you know why that is, Phil?
Well, you know, you did just pay $16,000 over the last month to do different house repairs. You really need to recoup some of that money, Tim.
Yeah, it's also because
We'll ship anywhere.
Oh, good times
Yep.
here, Phil.
Yep.
Good times. All right, Phil.
Tim.
The next question here.
I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing.
The next question here comes from Jillian in New Orleans.
Okay.
And she was wondering.
Hi, Jillian.
She was wondering if you were if you could notarize something for her. No, she did not say that. but she was wondering where you see yourself in the next 5 years there, Phil.
Ooh. Oh, that's really interesting. So in my real life, I am looking into PhD programs. So I might be starting a PhD program.
Oh.
That's scary and tremendously frightening. I would love if something in wrestling really took off, but that may not really happen for me. I might not get that opportunity to work with AEW or WWE behind the scenes or on camera. So,
well, you never know.
Right. You never know. You never know what opportunities could come around the corner. And, I'm hopeful, but at the same time, life has to continue on. And so I might be Dr. Phil in 5 years.
Yeah. Phil, 2 things with that. Number 1, anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation.
Yeah, that's true.
And number 2, Phil, did you know that I have a PhD?
What?
Pretty huge dick? They love it.
They love it here, Phil.
Wow.
They love it. They love it.
I really thought you were going to go thugonomics. I was expecting the John Cena route of PhD.
Oh, no. I brought it down to a much lower level than that there.
Yes, you did, Tim. Yes, you did.
Yeah, Phil, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world not to be dealing with those creatures of the night anymore. You know what I mean? I probably would have never met my wife if I didn't stop wrestling.
That is true.
Yeah.
And I had that, and as a younger man, I had that thought of with wrestling, with my non-wrestling life, I'm gonna work nonstop, and that way I can financially afford life and to live, and then I'll have a family because everything financially will be better and work out that way.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. You know what I mean? It's definitely interesting. I mean, when I think about myself, I'll have a 5-year-old by then, which is crazy. My kid will be going into kindergarten in 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's that aspect of it.
That's right, because you're gonna be a daddy.
I'm gonna be a daddy. I can't believe how fast that's going too, Phil. She's my wife's gonna be giving a baby in about 4 months. Isn't that nuts?
That's amazing. That's just wow.
Just crazy. The quarantine really just kind of sped the whole thing along.
Right.
Hopefully I'm still working at the same company, Phil, but once again, anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's hard to tell. You know what I mean? Especially in today's world where anything can literally anything can happen in the next 5 years now. It's not, that question isn't what it used to be, Phil.
Right.
That question is not where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Still breathing.
Yeah. How about still being alive and not getting in trouble on Twitter for anything that happened 27 years ago. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like anything like that could happen at any time. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I see that. Yeah. What about you, Phil? You got any other questions over there?
I do. Okay. From Clark Langstrom, this is a good one, Tim.
Ooh, Clarky.
Who would win in a wrestling match between Phil and Tim?
Whoa, Clark, I do not like you anymore. Okay, you trying to break up this whole tag team here? If we were a tag team, what would you call us? I want to interject this question here first.
Okay. Right? Like, I'm trying to think, because I ran as Phenom Phil Stamper for a while.
Yeah.
You're Timmy Ite.
Yeah.
Now you're Timmy Z. I feel like there has to be like a party vibe, like.
Yeah.
The PZ party. No, that's really bad.
TP, the TP party. We're gonna rock your bunghole, brother.
Right. Well, let's see. If you were Timmy Ite, what would the Phil Stamper version of Timmy Ite be? Phil Sup, and Tim Ite.
I kind of would like Philly cheesesteak, you know?
Philly cheesesteak.
Philly cheesesteak and Timmy Ite.
I feel like it would be like a food and party related theme. Like
Yeah. But who would win in a match between us? It definitely would be a very great match. Because this is how I would book this one with you, Phil.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to go full screen on myself for this one here. Phone number is open to 518-350-4312. Let us know in the comments who you think would win in a match between me and Phil, because it would go down like this. All right? Phil, I would play the mouse and you would play the cat, okay? Where I would kind of run from you a little bit. I would do high fly spot, and every time you would grab me, you would throw me into a submission match or a submission, right? Mm-hmm. So it would be like, I don't know, I do a springboard, jump at you, you grab me from the air, pull me down into a crossface. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I climb to the ropes, I crawl out, I hit you with a kick, you grab me, you throw me down you give me a suplex, but you hold on to my leg and then put me into something that'll switch into like something on the head or whatever body part you wanted to work at the time.
Right.
And then eventually you would grab me and then you would continue. Then you would get the heat. I'm putting you as the heel in this.
I'm picking this up. Okay.
Yeah. I would be putting you as the heel and then you'd beat the shit out of me. Eventually, they would come naturally. And then the hope spot. And then, Phil, you booked the finish.
Oh.
See what I did there? That makes it fun, right?
I did. I feel like just the kind of heel that I am, I would really want you to get your hopes up. I would really let you power back. You're just whooping me. You're just beating me. And just like had happened during the heat, I just right at the clinch, like right as the jaw or the rounding victory is about to come, I grab out of the jaws of defeat and put you down in a Taz mission and just choke you out and just leave you in the middle of the ring.
Hell yeah. I love it because it would totally just, I love that it would be like an out of nowhere, like, oh no, fuck, oh, and then he's out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where it would be like,
But if I can, let me interject just a little something. Okay. Because if we had a wrestling match today.
I think, yeah, we're definitely going back like 15 years with this fantasy booking. Yeah.
Right. I mean, even before my neck surgery, like a year before my neck surgery, I was in decent shape.
Yeah.
I've gained so much weight since my neck surgery. And
Phil, I wonder where I gained all my weight from. Natty
Light. Right. So I feel like if we were to wrestle today, fortunately I have a lot of that submission wrestling knowledge just built in my brain. I think there would be a lot of punches. I think there would just be a lot
of punches,
like,
a lot of
hitting
Memphis.
I'm hitting you. Yeah, exactly. Like you're probably gonna do the like you're jumping outside of the ring and I'm jumping out after you. You're jumping back in. I jump back in. Like what the hell?
Oh no! We're not doing that chase spot, Phil. I would get too blown up. I'm talking like we'll do the corner spot. The fucking me. No, me. Because then you're not gonna feel that blown up at that point. Punch.
I cut mean promos. And like when a promoter's like go out there and cut a promo for 5 minutes, like that's half the match. Like
yeah.
That's where I'm at today.
I take a really long entrance now. You know what I mean? You guys got 7 minutes. All right, I'm gonna use 3 for the entrance. All right, I'm gonna kiss all the babies.
Right.
Quick roll up. Yeah. No, I think that would be the best way to do it. I think that putting you over as the heel with a sweet submission, like a Taz submission or something like that, would definitely be the best way to go. And yeah, I'll put you over on that one, Phil. Phil's going over in that sense.
Woo! Woohoo!
Boom. Nice. All right. So
what questions do you have? Or have we exhausted your questions?
We kind of exhausted my questions here.
I have one more.
Ooh. Hold on. For old time's sake here, Phil.
It's now time for the main question.
This question comes all the way from KC.
Casey?
It's an evil question, Tim.
Oh, no.
It's evil.
Hold on. Before you ask that, let me put on your effects here, okay? All right, go ahead.
It's an evil question, Tim. Are you ready for the evil question, Tim?
2 seconds. All right, talk now. Do it. Go ahead.
Are you ready for your evil question, Tim?
Yes, yeah. I wanted to make it not sound so stupid, but I feel like it's
from and I guess I should add from KC in New York.
Uh-oh.
For as close as you two are, why wasn't Phil one of your groomsmen, Tim?
Oh. Ooh.
KC in New York.
Is that a legit question, Phil?
Yes, it's a legit question.
Did you come up with this question? Did you come up with this question here, Phil?
No, why would I do that? KC in New York.
Phil?
I'm looking right at it.
Yeah, after you typed it, Phil. I know how you work.
I'll put all the questions in a sheet.
Phil, this sucks, Phil.
You said every question, and you know what? You don't have to answer that because, you had 6 groomsmen.
I was pulling teeth, Phil. It was trying.
Right.
Phil.
Yes.
If Phil, once my wife leaves me and I get married again, and I can only have one groomsman, I'll pick you. All right? Does that make up for it?
That's fair, because again, I just want to reiterate, I was at your wedding, KC from New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was there to support you. I helped you. KC from New York, where were you?
Yeah.
At your other gig.
Yeah. Oh.
For your friend's wedding.
Wow. I can't believe that guy asked that question.
I mean, allegedly, KC.
Double booked. Nobody books that guy anymore. I got it. Wow. Fantastic, Phil.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. KC.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. Casey, thank you for your question. This is ridiculous. Well, join us next time. We'll do this one. We'll do one of these again. I mean, Phil, I don't know when's the next another pay-per-view. I know there's probably one Sunday, isn't there? Something going on.
There is another one coming up. It is coming up on. Give me a moment, and I shall pull it up. The next. Well, even though we have the Great American Bash going on, and I'm sorry. Brain is having a moment. WWE Backlash is June 14th.
Okay, well, I'm glad that we're in July, Phil, because that's
I'm
pretty,
sorry.
That's pretty fantastic.
Right. See, KC from New York got me all confused. KC from New York got me all confused. So, July 19th, it's going to be WWE Extreme Rules from Orlando, Florida.
All right, well, we'll be back for that one there. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thanks to all of you that asked us questions here on the show, except for KC. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Follow Phil. Phil, where do they follow you at? What's the whole tag there?
You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok and YouTube and Twitch at PS Phenom. That's PSPHENOM.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much at Timmy Zabriskie. And make sure you like, subscribe, follow, share, do all the fun stuff, and we will catch you next time.